Every single profession out there, if they know AI, they're embracing AI, they're using it as their leverage, they will just do better. And it's just like any other technology. People were worried about computers taking jobs to other things. It's just a skill. As long as you're developing a skill, your skill will be helpful, useful, because right now, the biggest need out there is to develop AI systems.
I have a long list of clients who are waiting in line right now to have conversations with us about implementing AI, and they're looking at it not just in AI alone, but they're also looking at it as automation.
The biggest need out there is to develop AI systems, and you don't need to be a true technical person to develop AI systems. Everyone can learn, from vibe coding to just so many. It's much easier right now to develop a system using AI tools, and it's about learning how to use tools.
Welcome to AI by Design podcast. Brings MSP leaders into real, unscripted conversations about innovation that actually works. Hosted by Kaila, it's focused on turning AI into measurable business impact.
The reason we're doing it this way is really, I need my staff to get in their minds how to identify those opportunities for clients. And the best way to do that paradigm shift in their mind is to do it internally, right? The initiative is going to be for all departments to start rolling up to central services, what those opportunities are internally, and it's really getting their mind around that concept, right? It's not scary. We're not doing this to lose jobs or to fire anybody. So we're all going to be AI engineers instead of level 1 help desk. So the opportunity just from the career path for the staff is great. It's really just shifting their mindsets, right? This is the direction we're going, slowly shifting out of the concept of us just being a help desk provider, right? We're an intelligence provider. So we have been fast tracked with Microsoft to get the Frontier badge, Frontier accreditation, is what you want to call it. So we've started that program with them, and some of our partners are helping fast track that for us. So we're excited about that, and getting our solutions off of the ground this year, hopefully by second quarter.
Yeah, so what I heard you say is that AI is not going to impact jobs of those people where they have the skills, AI skills, right? And I think during the last connection call, we talked about AI is not a software, it's a skill. And it's just about developing a skill. And if you have a skill and you can be helpful, useful using your skill, you are never out of work. The problem happens when you don't have the skill that the marketplace is looking for. And I talk to a lot of law firms, and it's going to take probably attorneys' job. And I'm like, no, it's not going to take attorneys' jobs. It's going to take attorneys that will develop AI skill along with their skills that they have. People or attorneys using AI will take other attorneys' work where they're not using AI, because things needs to be better, faster, more quality, more speed. And attorneys using AI as their unfair advantage will take over work from law firms where they are probably not using AI. Same thing is true with every single other industry. It could be healthcare, researchers who are using AI to analyze data. The speed is going to change. And so every single profession out there, if they know AI, they're embracing AI, they're using it as their leverage, they will just do better. And it's just like any other technology. People were worried about computers taking jobs to other things. It's just a skill. As long as you're developing a skill, your skill will be helpful, useful, because right now, the biggest need out there is to develop AI systems, and you don't need to be a true technical person to develop AI systems. Everyone can learn, from vibe coding to just so many. It's much easier right now to develop a system using AI tools. And it's about learning how to use tools, how to think. Basically, thinking is going to be more useful now. So when we think about AI managed services, What are you seeing? What are you doing to help your customers?
Well, one of the things that, and I'm not trying to plug any particular platform by any means, but, one of the things that we use from a customer facing aspect to keep, is a platform called Hats AI, which you probably have heard of. That product and platform is inherently designed to keep any customer data, internalized, compartmentalized, and basically ensures that the models don't train off of it. But from that standpoint, from a prompting, it gives us the ability to help them write prompts and stuff as well, and workflows from an agent standpoint. The call interception stuff works well as well. There's some things I'd like to see work a little better from on that platform, but it's the reason I kind of use a custom solution for our call stuff. But it works well, and my experience with it, from a client standpoint, has been very positive. So, it allows them to use basically any of the LLM models that are out there that, and it can be restricted to certain ones if they want to restrict it. So, the adoption, and people are looking for, to use AI in a lot of different ways. And this just gives them a platform that, one, I can help guide them and ensure that their data stays internal. And, from that standpoint, it gives them a little bit more security than what they would have. Now, on a larger scale enterprise, I've got one client that actually is looking at licensing an open AI model, internally for use, and, kind of working with them to guide them through that process is, it's an interesting feat because they're a large retailer and they want to develop it and put it into their demand forecast and stuff like that for stocking and resales, sales and, statistics and things like that. It's, I see both ends of the spectrum, the small to medium sized businesses, as well as the larger enterprise level. So, and the models are going to, differ, but you still have the same issues. What are you going to feed those models and make sure that it's secure and safe so that you're not giving away your data for somebody else to learn with?
I have a long list of clients who are waiting in line right now to have conversations with us about implementing AI, and they're looking at it not just in AI alone, but they're also looking at it as automation. They're looking at what I'm finding when I'm talking to people is that they have a genuine worry that their competitors are already doing these things and they're being outperformed, they're being outworked, they're being outpaced by their competitors, and they don't want to lose that. They want to stay competitive, but they don't know where to get started. So there's a list that I have already set up for clients that we're meeting with, even starting Q1. We've already started, and we're looking at doing implementations where it can even be something where we're integrating one system with another, like their CRM with their ERP. But what we're really looking at is how can they get ROI on their investment, and not just as a small ROI. We're looking like a 5x ROI right away out of the gate. We want to get those quick wins in early, because what I've found with talking to people and doing these ones that we've done already is once you successfully help them put in one small automation or one quick win, their mind starts to go, well, what if we do this in this part of our business? What if we do this in this part of our business? Oh, can you help me with this? And the answer is almost always yes, but not everything needs to be automated. So I have said no to some things where you're having a conversation with somebody and it's just like, you're trying to save 3 hours a month here. This is not worth automating, right? But if you're talking about saving 4 hours a week times 5 or 6 people or more in your organization, okay, now we have a conversation.
And what is most fun use case that you have worked with so far? So where you just had so much fun just thinking about this, doing this, and that kind of really gave you a lot of excitement that, hey, this is something that I want to do more of.
Absolutely. It's getting eyes and visibility into things within our business that we didn't have visibility into before, because the systems were totally separated and they didn't talk to each other, or it just took too much manual human effort to go and do an audit in this system or in that system and put it together in a view. But being able to use AI and integrate the systems through API connectivity and getting those systems to talk together and get it to present in a way that works how we work has been game changer. Absolutely. It's so much more powerful when you can get a system that works in your workflow versus trying to buy a piece of software off the shelf and adapting the way your company works to the way that software works. It's a big learning curve, and it's really hard. So doing that work for us internally first and making it work the way we work and the way we think and we operate, my goodness, the amount of insight and things that we found that weren't working the way we thought they were working and that were working, but we could make them better, was just like amazing. And it's so exciting to do that. And I never get bored of that.
Thank you for watching the AI by Design podcast. Stay tuned for more conversations at the intersection of AI, leadership, and innovation. Follow us on our channels and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.